Happy New Year, Rory. My name is Matt Muren. I am with St. Louis Real Estate Advisors, partnered with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties.
And I am Rory Schwartz, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties.
So Rory, St. Louis Realtors every month releases their housing report. And they just released the December 2022 housing report. A lot of interesting information, some surprises, some kind of expected. So, there's one that stood out to me, and I'll explain it, and you can give me, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Months of supply of inventory, so 1.3 months of inventory, and that is up 18.2% from December 2022. And just remember, months of inventory essentially means if no new properties came on the market, with current demand, how long would it take for all the buyers to absorb or eat up that inventory? So we have 1.3 months of inventory, and a balanced market is considered 5 to 6 months. So Rory, 1.3 months of inventory, that's up. Was that a surprise?
I don't think it was a surprise if you look at the previous numbers. The previous 1.3 months, though, is not like, it's not earth-shattering. But I think what surprised me was 18%, and then I start doing the math,
Right.
and I keep thinking, well, if we keep going up 18%, you know, by the end of next year, that could be a higher, a number that we would start questioning. But today, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that number at all.
And for context, I mean, that is 1.3 months is still an extreme seller's market. That is still an
Absolutely.
indicator that St. Louis region, and again, these numbers are St. Louis City, St. Louis County, is still in a seller's market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. And we're seeing that. But certainly, people want to know what's the current supply in terms of what they're seeing. So what stood out to you? Which of these numbers?
Well, I can tell you what stood out to me on a company level,
Sure.
and then it makes me feel good when I see it on, is the 32% decline in closings this December. And, you know, I felt it at our company level, and luckily we outperformed the market a little bit better than that, but 32% is a lot.
A lot.
And it's not the fact that people aren't looking for houses, as we just said, but it comes back to the one thing that we've been talking about, inventory, I would
Right.
say. So.
Right. An item that stood out to me. So in the midst of sales being down, so if you think economic conditions, if sales go down, so fewer sales taking place, inventory going up, and I'm thinking back to my high school, college economics, you would expect price to go down. However, on the report, again, December 2022, median sales price was up 4.9% from December 2021 to $262,000. What's your read? What's your take? Why would a price go up in this market?
Demand.
Yeah.
It is, you know, we're still excited to get a listing.
Yeah.
It's not like it was, well, here's a listing, it's going to sit on the market for 6 months.
Right.
The fact is that the demand, the buyers are still out there, it's just the listings aren't out there. I heard something last week, and it makes sense. You know, people have got in these 2 to 3% interest rates, and they're looking at moving, and they're at 6% if they move. There needs to be it needs to come down a little bit more, I think, to get people more comfortable with that thought process is what I'm taking, and it's January.
Right.
So
That's fair. Yeah. I will say, and a lot of our sellers ask this, you know, should we still, is a multiple offer situation still doable? And my answer is yes. I mean, it still has to be priced properly based off comparable sales. It has to be in correct condition, especially even more so now in terms of buyers, what they're looking at. They still want to see that the condition is right. But yes, we are still seeing multiple offer situations on our listings. I mean, is that the feedback you're getting from others?
Yes.
Priced properly, yeah.
I see that. I'd be interested in your take on the fact that, you know, we could put a piece of junk on the market 6 months ago and
Right.
you'd get multiple offers. I think that we're in more of a, this house needs to be spit shine a little bit better.
I completely agree. I think buyers are being a little more discerning. I agree. While on some of these houses, if we may have seen 10 to 12, multiple offers, we're probably seeing half that, but they're still there. We are seeing more contingencies come back into the fold. And just for clarification, contingency is financing, contingent on inspections, contingent on the built-in outs and protections within the contract. The previous few years, we have seen buyers choosing to remove a lot of these contingencies, but we're coming back. And I, for one, as an agent, view that as a positive. I think these contingencies are protections. It's a little scary when you see an offer come in that's not contingent on inspections. There's a higher level of risk associated with that.
Absolutely.
Maybe some would be comfortable with.
Absolutely, and I can tell you from taking a look at this market, we're seeing it's exactly what we predicted 2 years ago. People buying houses without building inspections, and then they're coming back and saying, hey, this wasn't disclosed, or hey, this should have been disclosed, and things like that. I mean, those type of problems, of course, are going to come when you don't have a full inspection on a house. So I'm happy to see these inspections come back.
I agree.
So
I agree. Is there any other numbers that stood out to you, or any point that caught your eye?
34 days on market. My entire 35-year career, I would take 34 days on market this entire time. But it has, it has gone up.
Yeah.
And once again, if it continues that way, but I'm still thrilled at 34 days.
I completely agree, and I think what that's probably indicating, and I am seeing this, you're starting to see some price adjustments. And this speaks to your point earlier in terms of put a piece of junk on it at whatever price you want to throw out there. Buyers are saying, okay, it still has to be priced properly. So when you're seeing some sellers choose to push the market, the buyers are saying, okay,
right,
maybe not. So yeah, so we're seeing some price reductions, we're seeing some of that, and that's going to certainly indicate that days on market's going up. So yeah, so what I'm seeing in the market, supply still exceptionally low. There's still demand out there. You and I were talking about this earlier. Certainly different price points have different levels of demands because real estate is always local. What happens on this block can be totally different from a mile away. But certainly some of our other buyer pools are still seeing probably significantly more inventory or significantly less inventory. So
yeah, the first-time home buyer, as we talked about, that's the first domino. And for all the rest, and as I think I've said before, if they were in the pool 6 months ago with the low interest rates, they're still sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
If they just started looking in the past 60 days, they really could care less what the interest rate is. It's just kind of what it is. It is what it is. So,
right.
But buyers, first-time home buyers, are finding things that they didn't find 6 months ago or 12 months ago.
And the lenders we work with, just as completely off topic, are adjusting. They've adjusted to those, and they're recognizing there's different products, especially for first-time home buyers, that may be a better fit to what their goals are. So I think a lot of the lenders, especially the ones we work with, have made sure that if a person wants to has the ability to buy a house, that there's still products out there available for them to utilize.
Absolutely.
So. Yep.
Absolutely.
Rory, another monthly report down. I always appreciate these conversations. You're one of the best in the business. You've been doing this.
Thank you.
And you appreciate numbers as much as I do. So, again, this is Matt Muren with St. Louis Real Estate Advisors, partnered with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties.
And Rory Schwartz with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties.
All right. Have a great month, guys.